Hello everybody, this is 7 and welcome to another deck profile video. The deck profile this week is Burn. Yes, Burn is back in Modern. I was really surprised to see this deck in the Modern metagame. I didn't see it coming. However, I think this deck is very good. It's one of the best decks ever in the Modern metagame. Because you can compare this deck with the other aggressive decks in the modern metagame, just as the prowess, just the mono red prowess, and just as the hammer time. However, the prowess deck might be more explosive in some turns. However, I think Burn is the most aggressive deck ever in modern. This deck version is Boros. You can also play white. This deck plays Boros Charm, and you can play a very competitive sideboard with Rest in Peace and Bad to Exile. So I think this deck is very well positioned in the current metagame. And this deck is a very good choice, believe me. I just got beaten by this deck 11 straight times the past weekend. So I think this deck is very well positioned. It can provide very aggressive start, either with the Goblin Guide or Monastery's Whisper. And also you can beat those decks like Heliod Company, or you can beat Uro, because you can mainboard and sideboard Skullcrack. Skullcrack is a very powerful card if you play wisely. The deck, most of the times people will think that this deck is a no-brain deck, that is an autopilot. However, you need to be very careful in your calculation, because if you miss one damage in one turn, it can cost you the game. So you need to be very wise. You need to play this deck very wisely, you know? So this deck in the current metagame, I think is very well positioned. And what else I'm missing? This deck, already said, plays white. I also like the version with green. Nevertheless, I think the version with white, the Boros deck, is the best. So without any further ado, let's go and see it. I will begin with the main board and I will walk through the sideboard afterwards. So for the main board, we're playing Lurrus as our companion, because if you can play a companion, that's an advantage for you, because you will have an extra card, and Burn using Lurrus, it will provide Burn best late game. Right? Because if you play Lurrus, you can play any of your burn cards or any of your creatures or Mishra's Bubble or whatever. So if you can play black or white, why not play Lurrus? So Lurrus as our companion. So for the main deck for the creatures, we got 4 copies of Goblin Guide. This guide is amazing. It's a 2/2, 1 mana haste. It doesn't matter if we can give our opponent an extra land. The 2 damage in the early game is crucial. Then we are playing 4 copies of Monastery Swiftspear. Monastery Swiftspear, I think, is the most played card. I think it's the most red play card in Modern, because it's every aggressive deck plays Monastery Swiftspear because it's very good. 1 mana prowess is very hard to kill because it can boost into 3 toughness. So Monastery can also provide very explosive turns, so that's why we're playing 4 copies. And one of the MVPs of the deck, Eidolon of the Great Rebel. Eidolon is one of the most annoying cards in Modern. This is very good if you're playing against almost everything. I say almost because not all the decks play cheap cards. However, also if you play in the mirror match, this is very good. Whoever gets to play Eidolon first must win the match. That's for the creatures. Then for the rest of the cells, we have triple Mishra's Bubble, because we are playing Lurrus, so why not? This can prevent us to draw lands in the late game. We can accommodate our draws with the extra draw, fill our graveyard, and take it back with Lurrus for free. Of course, we're playing 4 copies of Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt is the best burn card. in removal, maybe in modern. Only one red, and that's it. It's an instant spell. You can either kill creatures, kill anything, or punch it to the face. We are also playing 4 copies of Rift Bolt. This can provide very explosive turns. We suspend the next turn. It can trigger the prowess of Monastery Swiftspear and also deal a lot of damage. Last week I was playing against this deck, and one turn I got 11 damage just because 2 resolutions of Rift Bolt plus Monastery Swiftspear and Boros Charm. Then, of course, Lava Spike. Lava Spike is nice. It's a sorcery though. I think it's very good. 3 damage to any target. Planeswalker, face, or any creatures is very good. When we are playing 4 copies of Secure the Critics, you can play 3 of it. I like 4 because it's very easy to trigger the Spectacle cost. So 4 copies of this. 2 copies of Searing Blaze. Now if you're facing a creature deck or the mirror match or even the prowess matchup is very good, and with the landfall we trigger more damage. Another MVP, Boros Charm. This is very versatile card. 4 damage to the face or double strike. So basically most of the time you will use it for damage, but you can also trigger the double strike. And it's an instant spell, so it's very good. Then we are playing Lightning Helix, very good. Seal of Fire, why? Because we're playing Lurrus. So Seal of Fire, very good card here. That's for the creatures and spells. Now for the lands, we have 4 copies of Bloodstained Mire, of course, the fetch land base, 3 copies of Wooded Foothills. That's for the fetch lands. Then we're playing double Sacred Foundry because we're playing white. We need white mana. 3 Experience Vantage. 4 copies of Sunbay Canyon. This is one of the great additions to the deck because we can draw and we prevent us to run out of gas. Very good. Draw a card in the late game. Fiery Islet, because we cannot play 5th copy of Sunbay Canyon, and Triple Mountain. So that's for the main deck. For the sideboard we have our Lurrus as companion, then we have double Core Firewalker, Mirror Match, Smash to Smithereens against any artifact based, double Skullcrack. Maybe I will consider to turn 2 of this into the main board and see what we can pull out. Searing Blood, I very like this card. Rolling Vortex, very nice addition. We can slide in against any control or any non-creature based. Thomas Crypt, I prefer this over Rest in Peace just because we are playing Lurrus. So we can play it for free with Lurrus and we can trigger the prowess engine, so that's good. Double Path to Exile, one of the best removals in Modern, and another reason for playing white. And last but not least, this should be either the Fecting Palm or the new red counterspell. That's it for the deck, guys. Please feel free to leave any comments or suggestions. Also, thank you all for your continued support. It's very appreciated. And see you again in the next video. Thanks for watching.